we're going to meet Derek Gow and Rich Brazier, who have been doing a survey at Mapperton for the potential reintroduction of beavers into the landscape. And I'm going to go and say hello to Derek and Rich and see how they've got on. But obviously that would be a very welcome addition to the ecosystem.
Absolutely, yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, Tom. So here we are at Mapperton, outside the coach house, with some beaver superheroes. This is the team that is probably responsible for more beaver introductions than anybody else in the UK, certainly at the moment. In fact, you're all kind of leading the vanguard and responsible for beaver introductions all across the country, Scotland, in the southwest. And we are really pleased because we are looking now to see whether Mapperton might have suitable habitat for a reintroduction here. So you've been out surveying this morning, and tell us what you found.
Well, surprisingly large amounts of good habitat for beaver reintroduction, and we've found lots of dense willow woodland down in the bottoms of valleys, really good wet woodland, which is not really being used for anything anymore, and yet can have quite a lot of floodwater passing through it, and can have quite a lot of sediment laden poor quality water passing through it. And of course, when beavers set up their choaches in those kind of places, they build dams that slow the flow of that water and capture that sediment. So they're ideal. They'll also bring more wildlife, but they're ideal places to do this natural flood management as part of their life cycle, living and building dams and
because one of the opportunities at Mapperton is that we're up in the headwaters of the River Brit, and the River Brit flows down through the town of Bridport, and Bridport sometimes has very severe flooding events. And the thought is that if we can reintroduce beavers up here, that will attenuate, that will alleviate the flow of water, and therefore ideally we'll have less flooding downstream. And Derek, you've physically moved a lot of beavers back from Europe to the UK. I think you've even been bitten by one.
Yeah, I've been bitten by one twice. Once when I wasn't paying attention, I was trying to impress somebody at a show, and then the other time I just dropped it. It turned around and bit me straight through the chest, and it hurt like hell. So what we're looking at are landscapes that have been over-engineered by us. We know that. The price of that has been massive loss of biodiversity, quite catastrophic. In the case of this island, to the point where we're one of the most impoverished wildlife nations there is in the world now. And what the beavers do is, I mean, very, very simply, by impounding water, by felling trees, by doing the multiplicity of things they do, is they kiss the earth again with life.
Yes, so this is ecosystem restoration, and it's being done by beavers.
They are.
In the way that they would have been in this landscape 400 years ago doing exactly that.
It's in large part down to us saying, you know, actually we can tolerate something. In the past, we are the most incredibly intolerant species. When you look at not just the history of the beaver, but the history of animals like the wolf or the wildcat or the pine marten or whatever else, the only reason why these creatures are no longer here is because we really have been running more or less a holy war, you know, over the course of the last 1,000 years, absolutely determined in every fibre of our being to exterminate these creatures. If they had no use as a hunting animal, if they had no use for any other purpose, we just swept them from the face of this island. And we have to find a different way of moving forward. We have to build a better future. And at this point in time, as the political situation changes in the way that it has done dramatically, it's a tremendous opportunity for us to build a better world, not only for ourselves, but for the generations that follow.
Yeah. There are so many things in place now, aren't there, to really feel quite optimistic about the next 10 years in terms of beaver reintroductions and in terms of new approaches to land management. And we hope that the things that we're trying here are going to be exciting for other people to come and visit, because part of what I think is important is not just that we're here benefiting, but that other people can have more access to the countryside, can come and see these animals in their natural habitat, doing all of these wonderful things. So I think we've got a huge amount to look forward to, and thank you all for your help so far. We're just at the beginning of the journey. There's going to be many more things to come.
Good. Look forward to it.
Thanks.
And the fantastic news is that we've been awarded a grant to build the most expensive part of releasing beavers in the UK, which is the beaver enclosure. And the beaver enclosure is essentially a wire fence that encloses the pair of animals that we're going to be bringing here. And the fence covers about 8 acres. It's enormous, and it has these high sides, and it's got a skirt, which means that the fencing actually goes down into the ground so the beavers can't dig underneath. And we are here in Holacre Wood, which is going to be the location of the enclosure. Holacre is a most magical wood, and you can see that running down the middle of it is this stream. And of course beavers need streams because they've got to build dams. And so looking at this stream here, you can see there's quite a lot of water flowing, and it's flowing easily because at the moment there's nothing to stop it. But we know that when the beavers get here, the first thing that they're going to do, because that's what a beaver does, is react to the sound of flowing water. And if I just stop talking for a second, you'll be able to hear what I mean. The sound of flowing water is the sound or the signal to a beaver that something needs to be done to slow it down. They like peace and quiet. They don't like this babbling brook sound that we've got in the background. So they will do everything that they can to interrupt that. And what that to them means is chopping down some trees and creating dams. But then the question is, how do we enclose the stream? And that's actually the most interesting part, because what we have to do, we can build a fence around the edges, but when it comes to the stream itself, we have to put in a grill. So if I show you over here and we have a look, this is actually roughly where we're going to run the grill. You can see that the stream has carved its way down and it's got walls on either side. And so what we have to do is get a custom-made grill that slots in at a 45-degree angle onto the stream there. And that will stop any beavers from coming out this way, because at the moment beavers aren't allowed in the English countryside. They need to be kept in enclosures. The government is looking at that and considering whether to allow them what's called open release. But for the time being, if you want to have beavers in your landscape, you've got to have them in the enclosure. So this is where the grill is going to be. And this wood is essentially, well, it forms a V. There's a valley in the middle, the stream runs down, and then it works really well for the enclosure because we've got 2 tracks, one on each side, and it means that people who want to come and look at the beavers, me for example, and I hope many of you, will be able to look down from the tracks into the enclosure. It's really hard to actually spot beavers because they're nocturnal and they don't much like coming out, but you can see everything that they've done to the landscape. You can see obviously all of the trees that they felled, and then most interestingly you can see the dams. Hopefully you can find their lodge as well. But we're here for another reason today, which is that we also have badgers in this wood, and I want to make sure that the badgers and the beavers happily coexist. And we found a rather large badger set up on the left-hand side here. So what I'm going to do is take this trail camera and attach it and see if we can capture evidence as to whether it's a live set or not. We're standing in one of the most interesting parts of the wood because actually there is this small pond, which I think either my parents or my grandfather created a long time ago. You can see that it's pretty silted up. Not a pond I think that even Julie would want to go and swim in. Actually, maybe she could. Far side doesn't look too bad. But the great hope, of course, is that the beavers will restore this pond. What I really want them to do is kind of dig a channel from the stream here so that we start to get more water going in there. And you can imagine that if they dam it at that end, they'd raise the whole water level up and we'd have an enormous pond or even mini lake, which would really please Julie for some wild swimming. Looking behind here, you can see the other parts of the stream, but also you can see that there used to be a pheasant pen in here, and the pheasant pen is part of the shooting infrastructure. We keep the birds in and protect them from foxes. But with the changes that we're making at Mapperton, we are stopping driven pheasant shooting, and we're going to be pulling out this entire pen to make way for beavers. So I suppose in one sense we are replacing one pen with another, but I think that these new creatures that are going to come to Mapperton are going to do much more for the ecology than the pheasants ever managed, and that's a good thing. I'm standing on the top track at Holeacre, and what you can see on my left is the current fence line. So this is the old pheasant pen, and the pen runs, I don't know, 500 meters or more that way up into the top of the wood, and then down below you can see the stream, and then roughly at our level on the other side is the other track. So there are two tracks, one on each side of the woods, which really makes this such a good place, because it does mean that people coming to look will be able to see down and hopefully see the dams and the ponds and all the things. But before we can put the fencing in, one of the things we have to be sure about is badger activity, because badgers are protected in the UK, and we need to make sure that what we're doing with the beaver fencing isn't going to interfere with their well-being. Badger well-being is very important. So in order to do that, I've brought a camera trap, and what I'm going to do is attach that onto here and then leave it for a few days, and then we will see. Now, looking at this badger set, you can see how they've dug in underneath the tree here. But I don't see any evidence of fresh markings. So whether this is an active set or whether the badgers are just staying indoors for now, I think in this weather I probably would as well. When we come to put in the fence, obviously we have to remove all of this existing fencing, and it's something I'm quite looking forward to, because one thing about shooting and pheasant pens is that they leave an awful lot of mess. There's piles of wire sitting down on the track that way. There's plastic, there's feeding systems. I can see a big blue pipe running down the hill over there. There's all sorts of kind of corrugated shelters, etc. It's going to be rather wonderful to get these woods back, and in this case, to hand it over to a pair of beavers. Now, I know that there are people who are going to leave comments and they're going to say, but you're not going to have any trees left. Well, I don't think that will be true. I think the beavers will take out some of these trees to help with their dams and in order for them to eat the foliage. But overall, I think the impacts that we're going to see here will be magnificent. And anyway, it's all enclosed, so there's no danger of them going off and damaging anybody else's land. Right, camera trap. I think I just switch it on like that. And now I've just got to attach it to here. I'm here back in Holeacre Wood with Ben. And Ben, since the last time that I came here, this place has changed enormously. I mean, there's an absolute blanket of bluebells.
Blanket of bluebells, the white flowers coming through as all the wild garlic as well. So, yeah.
The smell of the wild garlic. I've got to
yes.
get Julie out to kind of make some wild garlic soup. She's going to be so excited.
So yeah, no, it's been a Holeacre now. It's been sort of a very high of activity really. Been very busy in the last couple of weeks.
So the key reason that we're here today is beavers. We're back looking at the future territory of the beavers at Mapperton, and the plan, as people may know, is to bring 2 beavers back into this wonderful ancient woodland, and Ben is here doing the planning for that. And Ben, what are the things that we're trying to do for the beavers, because we need to make their lives relatively comfortable?
Yeah, so we need to make sure that they have everything that they need. I've never seen a beaver, so I don't really know exactly what they need, but they've got sort of running water here, they've got the stream, they've got sort of fresh vegetation, plenty of wood to sort of have a go at as well, and hopefully build quite a lot of dams. And that's what I have been doing the last couple of weeks. I have been building about 6 dams we've built now.
You've been building dams?
I have been building dams. And
actually I can see behind us that we've got one of the dams that you've been creating. Ben, talk us through what it is you actually, how have you made that and what's gone into it?
Yeah, so there was just some hazel that I found the other day, so we just cut that into lengths, sort of wedged it in between. I think I've gone about two logs high, and then put a couple of other bits going across as well, then sort of backfilled it with some soil. And you can already see now that it's already starting to dam up and sort of hold water.
Now beavers are supposed to make their own dams, so why on earth are we making the dams for them?
So this is just to help encourage them, just to get them when they arrive, just so that there's something actually going on for them now, so they can just so obviously concentrate on actually settling in, because settling in for them is going to be a big stage. They're coming from Scotland, aren't they? So they're
Scottish beavers,
Scottish
with
beavers,
a Scottish accent. They're going to need to pick up a Dorset accent pretty quickly.
They will, yeah. So so obviously settling is going to take a while, and also just getting comfortable with their surroundings. And then if they've got dams here as well, then it just sort of makes the process a little bit quicker as well. So we might be able to see this hopefully in the next year. Maybe it might come up a bit higher up, sort of up to my knees here.
Well, yeah, but Ben, our hope really is that where we're standing now, if we look back up the valley, the beavers will have built on this dam. They'll have raised it by, I don't know, another 2 or 3 or 4 feet, and the area that we're looking in front of us would all be underwater.
Hopefully,
this will become a completely thriving wetland.
Yes,
with all of the wonderful plant and animal life that would bring. And of course the trees that we have around the edges are likely to be felled, so not all of these trees are going to, in all likelihood, still be standing. No,
and that'll let in a lot of light into the wood as well, so that's sort of going to help with the vegetation of the wood, and sort of overall help with the round biodiversity of the sort of enclosure as well. So
that is the big plan. Ben, I've spotted a little hole here, just where you were digging, and it's a perfectly round hole.
It is.
What are we hoping that might be?
Hopefully, well, it depends what we find on Nesta's camera, but it could be a water vole. Just having a look.
Could be a water vole.
Yeah, it could be a water vole. It could be sort of a lizard or reptile.
Well, it could be a snake.
Could be a snake.
Could be a snake. Yeah. Where is Nesta's camera? Has he put
so his camera is just on the corner here.
So that would have picked things up. Last time we picked up a mink coming up the stream, and alas, the mink are the enemy of the water vole. In fact, they're responsible for a lot of water vole destruction.
Yes,
so,
they are.
So ideally we want to trap and get rid of the mink, who are an invasive species.
Yeah.
And then, Ben, looking to the left here, we've got this this large pond area. Well, it used to be a pond. It was built by my parents as a pond, and it's now sort of silted up. But again, this is something that we hope the beavers will bring back to life.
Yes, yeah. So they'll hopefully get in there, clean up all the water, and then hopefully, well, depending on where they're putting their dams, this all could be underwater. We don't know.
We don't know.
But that's the nice thing about it. It's all exciting.
It's all exciting, and we don't have any objectives. So kind of whatever happens,
we're just going to let nature take its course and get the beavers doing what they want to do.
The beavers doing what they want to do. Now, I have spotted something over there though, which is not quite nature taking its course. It's you giving a bit of a helping hand.
Yes. Yeah. So
tell me what's happening.
So just in the middle of building their beaver lodge, so it's just an artificial sort of lodge, just so that when they first come there, they've got somewhere dry and warm until they sort of decide they might probably. I think they'll probably build upstream, might be a bit quieter, and they might have a lodge up there. So hopefully.
So having been to the Knepp estate, which had beavers, unfortunately they escaped from there for various reasons. But I know that they built a lodge, and I have a feeling that the beavers didn't spend a single night in it. I think the lodges are part of what makes the project fun, because if I can see what Ben's building over there, it looks a little bit like a log cabin.
It looks like a log cabin. That's what I was going for. Sort of that sort of American Canadian sort of log cabin in the woods. But I mean, I would give it 5 stars. But I mean, I'm not providing fresh linen or towels.
You're not? Oh no, Ben! Maybe the beavers would like some fresh linen and towels. I don't know. Anyway, well, listen. Let's go over and let's finish off the construction and see where we get to.
Yeah.
We are now standing by the half-constructed beaver lodge.
Yeah, 5 star.
5 star. Okay, yeah. You know what? It is 5 star. I mean, where have you learned how to how to create joints like that in the logs. You've been watching YouTube, haven't you?
I have been sort of. Last night was a big sort of construction meeting with myself, and just having a look. I did do woodwork at school, but yeah, it was
on this scale.
Not on this scale, not for beavers.
But you know what, Ben? It does make me think that, you know, I've got this plan to put wood cabins in the woods.
Yes.
It does make me think that you may have some relevant skills for that.
Maybe I've done too much here, haven't
Maybe we might have done too much. I think these are going to be incredibly lucky beavers. Now, where's the door in this cabin?
The door's going to come last.
Oh.
So I'm going to make everything and then cut the door. That'll be the last thing.
Right. And so the hope is that the beavers discover this palatial 5-star cabin, and they come and happily frolic together, make friends,
Exactly.
have beaver babies.
Yeah.
And, you know, life goes on happily ever after.
Yeah.
That's the idea?
That's the idea.
Yeah,
I mean,
what could go wrong?
What could go wrong? I mean, they could take one look of it and just go straight up the other side of the stream. I don't know.
Yeah. I wonder if they like building their own house, and they might
I think they probably do.
Yeah. Anyway, don't let me get in the way. So you got to cut some more timber and put some more pieces on.
Yeah, I'm just going to put a bit across the middle, just to make it supportive, and then hopefully it shouldn't blow over in the wind or shouldn't collapse.
I think it's looking pretty sturdy to me, so I wouldn't worry about that.
Perfect. Take a little bit more off.
Little bit more off at one
either
end.
Side.
Now, I mean, far from it for me to kind of comment on your mastery of building construction.
Yes.
But I think beavers are bigger than that. I think they need another story.
Well, wow. When I measured it yesterday, I had Tika in here with me, my dog, and she was sat on one side.
Yeah.
And there was just enough space. I mean, if you can fit 2 Labradors in.
Yeah, but what if you're a beaver that wants to be a meerkat, you know, where it sort of stands up on its legs and wants to kind of, you know, walk around its living room?
I mean, I'd have to do another. I need to do 2 stories, won't I? I'll be doing stairs next.
Yeah, exactly. Upstairs,
upstairs, downstairs beavers.
Or we could dig down, couldn't we?
We could dig down.
Create a kind of.
But how do you know they're
cellar.
not going to dig down?
Well, exactly. Maybe you should leave them with something to do.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? I'm going to shut up because I don't think I'm helping at all. But that looks magnificent. But yes, you're going to need to shorten that bit a little.
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect. Look at that.
Yeah. Really nice. So is the idea that they hop over the top, or you do another one of those?
Well, that's just for the tin, just a bit of structure on the tin.
Oh, that's I see.
And then what I'm going to do next is I'm then just going to, I probably do that now actually, is just going to cut these 2 here.
Yeah.
Then sort of make a gap opening for them.
Excellent. So so they're actually getting a tin roof.
They're getting a tin roof.
They're
Yeah.
getting a tin
It's
roof.
not natural, I know, but
well,
as this is just an artificial one, so we just got to make sure they've got everything.
I mean, it's not like you're giving them slate or stone or
No.
or something, but you know. All right, I'll let you get on and do that. Very nice. Look at this.
Look at that, there we go.
A grand entrance. I mean, you know, I can just see the beaver kind of coming up the bank here.
Yeah.
You know,
just
walking along.
Just had its bath for the day.
Just had its bath.
Yeah, something to eat.
Coming back home, finding the kind of door, seeing Mrs. Beaver inside, and kind of heading round for a nice cup of tea. What do you think, Ben?
Does this mean I have to plumb the water in now, does it?
It will never end. So Ben, we've done the grand entrance and entrance hall,
Yes,
and now he needs a roof.
he needs a roof.
So what are you going to do?
So now I'm just going to drill into each corner. I'm just going to put a pin in, just hopefully so it's a bit more structurally sound for them. And then we've got some tin here that I cut up yesterday, and then we'll just put the tin on top, and we'll just drill down, and yeah, hopefully shouldn't go anywhere. And then I'll go around the edges with the spade and just dig in a bit of soil onto the back end of it, and then fill in all the gaps.
Fabulous.
Yeah, so
yeah.
it's coming together.
And if the beavers decide they don't want to go here, I suppose we've created a lovely refuge for snakes, water voles, rabbits,
Yes.
badger, fox,
yeah.
all kinds of Mapperton creatures might decide
Yeah.
to have a little holiday.
Depending on what's in the enclosure, I suppose, isn't it?
That is true,
That is
yes,
true.
because they will be stuck in here. And also perhaps depending what food you lay out for them to
Yes.
entice them.
Entice them. So.
Right, I'll let you get on. Ben, that lodge is looking incredibly smart now.
Yeah.
I made a minor contribution to the roof.
Well, if the roof blows off, I know who to go to.
You do, you do. I mean, it's a bit wonky at the back,
Yeah. I mean,
isn't it?
It can't be perfect.
Do you think I should have done a slightly better job at the back there? But
Well, we can always bend that tin
you can
down,
always
can't
bend
we?
that. I have a feeling that Ben is going to undo
I think
what I've done
I think you've
and make
made
it
me lose,
much nicer.
I think you made me lose half a star there, Luke. I think it's 4.5.
No, we come down to 4.5.
4.5.
Anyway, job done.
Job done.
Congratulations, it looks fantastic, and I think the beavers are going to absolutely love their new lives here. Hello, Rasheen.
Hi.
Here you are.
Yes, and the beavers.
You've made it.
Yes.
And the beavers.
And the beavers are here.
And the beavers are over there.
Conveniently in the back of your truck.
Are they behind that blanket?
Obviously, it's a big day for them as well, so the blankets are over to keep them a bit quieter. But you'll hear them as we approach.
So we're not going to go closer now
No.
because we don't want to disturb them.
Try to keep it as calm as possible.
And they've just come from Devon,
Yeah.
is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So they've been on a journey, they've no idea where they're going, obviously.
They were in Scotland last week.
They were in Scotland
Devon
last
this
week.
morning, now in Dorset.
It's all looking pretty confusing for them. We've now got to take them down to the woods to see if they like their new home
I hope
and
so.
enclosure.
Yeah. I mean, we know it's good habitat.
Yeah.
We know they've been translocated from a situation in Scotland where they can't stay. So this is going to be a good experience for them, far much better where they were.
Than
So.
where they were,
Yeah.
yeah. So an amazing thing though, Rasheen has had Nesta stay up with her in Pitlochry, and he came out helping you.
All hours of the day.
It's about 7 a.m. here in Scotland, and well, I'm just below the Highlands, just north of Edinburgh, and I'm checking on the beaver traps so that we will have a beaver to release down in Dorset. This is the trap. There's no beaver in it, unfortunately. You can tell just because the door's open. This is what I've been doing for the past 3 days, going around checking traps, moving them around.
I hope he enjoyed it.
He absolutely loved it. Can you imagine what's better for a 15-year-old who's absolutely obsessed with nature than to get a chance to come and work with you? And he did trap a couple of beavers.
We
didn't
did, and while he was there, it was really good luck. We caught a few beavers. So yes, he was carrying traps, lots of hard work, but hopefully he saw the good side of it. We had beavers, he saw the whole house screening process.
Yeah, so, well, this is so exciting. Now we've got to
Cool.
plan who goes in which vehicle, how we get there, and I know my parents want to
Oh,
come along
nice.
as well.
Perfect.
So somehow
Perfect.
we'll make it happen. There we go. And neutral, and brake, and we're here.
Rolling back.
That wasn't so good, was it? That wouldn't have been fun, would it, Ben?
No, it
if
wouldn't have
that
been
had
fun.
rolled off down.
But it shows you the topography that we've got here in this woodland, doesn't it?
We're here to do some inspecting.
A lot's happened in here the last couple of, well, only the last couple of days really, but it's Yeah, it has changed now because obviously this used to be the old pheasant pen, which
So
is
there's no,
which is no more.
there is no
Yeah.
pheasant pen.
no pheasant pen.
Can't even tell it was ever here, to be honest.
You can't, can you? Is it all gone?
It's all gone. Yeah, all been pulled out. All the wire, posts, everything.
I can see someone who's smiling. No pheasant pen.
No
but,
pheasant pen.
But some new
But
posts.
New posts. Yeah, and this is our beaver enclosure starting to go up.
This is the beaver enclosure.
This is the beaver enclosure.
It's
yeah.
not going to hold many beavers at the moment.
Not at the
is it?
moment. No. No, there was
No.
no. We need wire. We need some grills.
Right.
Still in early stages, but it is coming together now, which is great, really, because how long have we been planning this now?
Well, yeah, it's
I've only
been-
just joined, but
The
you've been-
project has been planned for over a year, I think, and it's actually happening.
Yes.
Beavers are coming to Mapperton, and amazingly down there we've also got the posts that are crossing the stream. It's quite frustrating because we've come here expecting to find the robot post basher. Alas,
it is somewhere. It's
alas,
somewhere in here.
robots don't work as long hours as humans today because it's only like 3 o'clock or something.
I think it's operator though, isn't it?
And the robot has gone. I thought the whole point of robots is that they kept going.
No,
Indefinitely.
Well, I think it's robot assisted, so he can
Right.
drive it
Right.
for safety. I think it's more
Right.
that's the robotic side of it. But
And it's been bashing all of these.
all of these posts
Posts in.
Yeah, so they're 7-foot posts.
So, Ben, we're here and I can see that we've got the pond
Yes.
down there.
Yeah, we got the pond.
And
yeah.
you've been doing some work to that, haven't you?
I've
Should we
been,
go have
I've
a
been beavering way down here as well,
You've
Luke.
been,
So-
it's so good. Ben's been beavering away. So,
Yeah.
Ben, what have you been doing here?
So
Quite a
here-
bit of plumbing.
bit of
Yes.
plumbing really. Yeah, so I've sort of hand dug out the pipe. So we had a pipe that would be almost acted as a sluice to divert the water from the stream into the pond, but that was blocked up
And what do we think we need to do at the end to make the water level rise?
because I've taken the pipe out, unblocked it, let the water flow through.
Yeah.
Now I've managed to find the overflow.
So can we go and unblock the overflow?
So it is unblocked now, so you can hear that sound.
Can we
you
go and
hear
block
that. So yeah, we can block it then to fill up the water of the pond even more.
Let's go and look for the overflow.
So looking like there's another steep bank we've got to traverse down. Oh
Oh
god.
dear. Right.
You can use the vines.
So hang on a second, Ben. That looks like water coming out there.
Yeah, so I did think that there was an overflow pipe, but it doesn't seem like there is. It seems like it's just, but it looks like it's been doing it for a long time because we have got quite a lot of water building up at the bottom there.
So the water's coming back here,
Yeah,
but what it's not doing is causing the pool to rise.
no.
So I've had an idea.
Uh-oh.
Nesta knows that when I say things like that, it's usually not good news.
No.
We should get some sort of obstruction
Yeah,
over there and try and block off this water
yeah.
and see if we can get the pond to rise.
Raise the level.
And
of
we'll know we've been successful if the water coming down here stops making such a noise.
Yeah, definitely.
What do we think? Yeah, good plan?
Could work.
Could work.
Could work.
I reckon that if we found a suitable log or, decent sized bits of,
Bits of timber.
we
Yeah.
could like plug it over there. What do you think? Can you see anything?
I think I've got some
Something looks pretty good over there.
bits over here. Where are
Do
we?
a Tarzan swing across.
A Tarzan swing. What, with this creeper here? You're quite right. Do you think? Well, do you want to go first?
Oh,
no, that wouldn't
no,
have been
I
good,
don't think
would
that
it?
would have been a good idea.
Okay. Wah! Okay, I made it. So this one, on the other hand, this one's really sturdy. No,
I mean,
seriously, it's really sturdy,
It
this one.
looks pretty.
It's got my whole weight on it. I think you're going to be fine on that. Here you go, come on.
Oh god.
Just give it a go. Remember to make the noise. It's fine. I'll hold this so you'll be fine. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much that's gonna help.
Well, it'll help a bit. I just do it. Come on, just do it.
Okay, that was more of a
You
jump.
didn't do a Tarzan noise. He didn't do a
I
Tarzan.
don't know what a Tarzan noise is. What's the Tarzan noise?
He goes. Oh.
Stick that one in.
Okay. That's quite good at that. Right. Good thing Julie's not here.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do we got? Okay, this is perfect, Ben. 'cause
Yeah.
Look, that is a proper little wedge,
Wedge-
and it's
wedge
sort of
in,
perfectly shaped.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let you go ahead.
I'll go ahead. Everybody grab some timber. Oh my God! I've been stung. This is what it's like to be a beaver. I tell you what, if I stand here with my weight on it, I'll wait here until the beavers come. We've arrived. This is the fabulous enclosure. Ben, you were working on this through the storms that we've had this week, so just incredible. And this is their new home. And Roisin, according to you, this is going to be quite a good habitat for them.
I mean, we know how rich and diverse this is, and you know, they're coming from more arable conflict areas in Scotland, so this is probably the most trees they've ever had, the most vegetation that isn't carrots. So
They've got their own pond as well.
even better.
They've got a lodge right next to the pond, built by me and him. This is a 5-star enclosure.
Yeah.
These are lucky beavers.
Thank you for taking them.
Thank you for giving them.
No problem.
There's quite a skittish male here. If he starts coming up your way, if you could move back up the bank, would be great. We're hoping he's going to go like that, but he might come up this way. Can I just say, on a day of great sadness for Britain, it's rather wonderful to be welcoming life back to Mapperton. And thank you to so many of you here who've been involved in this project in different ways. It's been an amazing endeavour, and they look so happy. They look so happy and natural in their environment. This couple know each other already.
They're a pair.
They're
Yep.
a pair.
They're a
They
pair.
haven't had kids
Not this year. No.
yet.
Yeah.
So obviously that's the next exciting stage.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. The one thing that Nesta said, who went up to stay with Roisin in Scotland, and he was handling the beavers, and he said, "Dad, I had an absolutely wonderful time,
Oh, good.
but make sure you don't stand downstream when they break wind." It's the start of a really exciting project. We hope you'll all come back and see how things develop over the next few months and years. But thank you to you all for your part that you've played in this. It's a wonderful thing. And thank you, Roisin, in particular,
No
for
problem at all.
bringing them here.
No problem.
And congratulations to the beavers here today. It's a wonderful thing. And I'm trying to be a little bit quieter than normal because they could be there.
They could be, yeah, they could well be, yeah.
They could be. I'm back here with Ben, who's the ranger here at Mapperton. The beavers have been here for a month?
Yeah, nearly a month now.
Nearly a month.
Yeah.
And we haven't been back with cameras since then. Or maybe we did briefly.
Briefly,
But we didn't see much.
That doesn't count.
Doesn't count. So really we're here to see what impact the beavers have had on the landscape in the 1 month that they've been here. It's been absolutely fabulous having them here because it gives you a real sense when you're at Mapperton that there's something you want to go and see because you know they're out here being industrious little things.
Yeah,
so Ben, what have they been doing?
Well, they've been incredibly busy, really. In the first week, monitoring them and seeing what they've been doing on the trail cameras, they were
walking a lot around the enclosure, so that's normal, good sort of normal behaviour.
Do you mean checking
just
the
checking the
perimeter,
perimeter, yeah.
seeing how far they can get to?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also checking out the grills as well. There was one that was sort of climbing. I think it was the male. He was sort of climbing up against the grill, and you could even hear him just tapping away at the metalwork, just sort of having a bit of a chew. Obviously realising that he couldn't get through it. The other day I came and the pond was empty, so there was a bit of erosion going on.
This was a catastrophe. Okay, Ben has been at Mapperton for a few months now, but I've never seen somebody walk into the office looking as ashen as you were on that day. And I said, Ben, what's up? And he said, there's no pond anymore. And I thought, oh, catastrophe.
Yeah.
But what had happened, do you think?
So I noticed it a couple of days before, and it was you could sort of hear a bit of trickling, and there's a bit of the bank that had eroded away. And I was hoping, I put a camera nearabouts, and they were slowly damming it up, trying to fix it. But I think one evening it just gave way.
So the bank gave way, and the whole of the pond slooshed its way down into the stream and into the Brit.
That's it.
In one go.
In one go, yeah. And then I came the next day, and I sort of looked, and I went, pond's not there.
All right, well, shall we go on in and have a look at a couple of these places? Ben, we are now standing roughly where the beavers were released. You and I had the
we
had the traps.
We had the heavier one out of the two.
We did have the heavier one, didn't we?
But yeah.
So we released them there, and this area was all mud at that point.
Yeah.
And one of the amazing things that has happened is that the pond water level has gone up because they've dammed over there.
Yeah.
And so the size of the pond is increasing.
It's increasing, yeah.
Which means we're getting more wetland. And having more wetland is a really good thing.
Yeah, well, it gives them more of an area, so they feel, as you said earlier, they feel comfortable. They can tuck away.
They
from
feel safe.
Those predators.
But it also provides habitat for lots of other things. So we can't see quite from here, but it's on that far side, isn't it? Where
on that far side,
where the dam
burst.
Burst.
Or not the dam, it was the actual bank.
The bank burst.
The bank burst, yeah. And then I think it's just because there was a load of mouse holes on the top. And as they've been filling that water up so much, that water just slowly seeped into where the mouse holes were, and that sort of just made the bank then erode from that.
So it was the mice that did it.
Yeah.
Ben, I can see there's a camera over here.
Yes.
We've had one camera on there, so we can probably show some of the footage.
We can show that
of the beach being
nibbled.
Nibbled. So, and are they using the lodge? Because one of the things that you and I spent quite a bit of time doing was building that lodge over there.
Yeah, they have been inside it.
Yeah.
I don't think they're using it now.
They're not using it now.
I think it was for their first couple of nights. It was sort of somewhere to tuck away and have a look round. But no, they're not using it now, unfortunately. I think we should head on up and see a bit more disturbance.
Bit more disturbance. Okay, let's go this way. Oh my goodness. Ben, when you said a beach, I thought you meant a little kind of spindly sapling.
No, it's a big beach. Yeah, they started.
This is absolutely astonishing. Do you think when they're doing this, there's two of them or one of them, or what's?
It's mainly just one of them.
It's one of them.
Well, that's what I'm seeing with the camera. So I have got the camera just on that hazel, just behind us, as sort of looking down. But it's mainly just one of them. And
and this is ring barking.
Yeah, so
is that right?
Yeah,
is that the phrase?
Well, they'll start stripping the bark off, and then they'll start having a chew. So that's all. This
is all fresh.
And that's just fresh. That was
fresh beaver.
That was last night.
Now I do know that beavers can take trees down that are this size.
Yeah.
But
it'll take a while.
I mean, the sadness would be that they don't take it down, but they kill it because they've ring barked it. At which point, obviously, it would then die and collapse. Which isn't a bad thing in a forest.
Standing deadwood's always great for insects.
Yeah, but look at this astonishing chip.
Yeah.
Because their incisors are basically like kind of really sharp scalpels, just kind of cutting through and breaking off these big bits of wood. We go see the dam.
So they've added more to the.
Oh look, here is the dam.
One of the dams that I've made.
So this dam is now very effective, isn't it? There's hardly any water coming through at all, which means almost all. Has this now backed up?
This is backed up
to the point where
nearly where the inflow is for the pond.
Where the inflow is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've essentially created a another kind of pond for them.
Yeah, exactly. They use this a little bit, but I haven't seen too much activity in here. But they do slowly start adding a bit more.
Right.
Sort of, but you can see another willow over the other side of the pond there that they've had a real good chew on.
Oh yes.
Right
Oh my
outside,
goodness.
Right outside the lodge.
How are we going to get over? So Ben, we're coming up to the edge of the enclosure here,
Yeah.
and I can see that we've got another beech.
Maple, I think.
Is it a maple, this one?
Maple. Yeah.
Oh, it's a maple,
Yeah.
yeah.
You've got the...
And this one is really being attacked.
Yes. Yeah. They're
Oh my goodness.
They're going.
Look at this. So, but you've done something with this one.
Yeah, so I've just put the mesh around it, so that's just the rest of the mesh that we've had left over from the fencing. So I've just put some mesh around it just so they stopped, because it's too close to the fence for my liking. So I don't want to come one day and it to be over the edge of the fence and you know, for the beavers to get out. So
you're basically thinking if this tree falls, it'll take out our fence.
They're very good at where they fell their trees and they know exactly where they're going, but I just wouldn't want to exactly trust them.
Take the chance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
the problem is they've already had a really good go at it. So
Yes.
so the tree might die.
Might die. Yeah.
Just based on what they've
What
already
they've
done.
Yeah.
So we'll have to watch this one.
We'll have to watch this one
Over
yeah,
the
but
co-
I thought-
over the coming
I thought
months.
I'd better put some wire around it.
You
just
get
case.
in there, yeah.
Um,
There's no gnawing through that, is there? So here is one of the camera traps, and if we open this up, this camera trap is called B2, which I happen to know stands for Beaver Cam number 2. Is that right?
It is right, yeah.
Yeah, he's having a good look, isn't
he's
he?
having a look round, yeah.
Yeah, he's not happy.
No.
He's not happy that you
he's
put
just
this
like,
wire
I
up.
was just here last
He
night.
just thought, yeah, I've put in all this effort.
But I think that's obviously why now they're concentrating their efforts on the beach, and also that.
I see. So they've moved away. He's given up on this one.
So they've sort of understood that there's sort of no chance now.
Yeah, isn't it brilliant?
From every video that I've seen, they all look very healthy, very settled.
Yeah.
That night the pond washed out. I did come round here at night and have a stand round listen just to make sure that they didn't go with the pond.
They didn't go with the pond.
They didn't flush out.
Oh, I see. Flush down the bottom. And Ben, I think all that remains is to thank you.
Yes.
And last word, what do you think is the next big thing that's going to happen here?
Next big thing I think is hopefully they'll fell that tree over the pond, and that hopefully let it a bit more light. I think they'll get that done before Christmas.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see
and
that.
kits. When might we get some new beaver life?
We won't be until next year.
Won't be till next year.
So we'll have to stay tuned for that and
Okay.
keep on watching. But
All right. Well, absolutely keep watching, and there's going to be so much more beaver activity over the coming months. It's going to be so exciting to watch. In the meantime, I'm going to take these back to my kids.
So today, Ben and I are here in the beaver enclosure because I've heard recently that the beavers have been out during the daytime. Now that it's winter, I'm guessing they're sort of coming out a bit earlier to get the sun, but I haven't been here in 5-6 weeks and I've still not seen the beavers. So hopefully, I'm hoping that they'll come out for us today.
yeah, hopefully this is sort of the time I'm seeing them, sort of 2 o'clock now, and I saw the female just on the other side of the pond, just having a bit of a feed on, stripping all the bark
Today?
off. 2 days ago.
2 days ago,
So they're a bit more active now.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully we'll see something, and then you'll see quite a lot of they're starting to take some of this hazel out here, and they've actually made their first dam on their own as well.
Oh,
so
really?
we'll go and have a look at that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you start to see just a bit more. They're just having a nibble each there.
What are they doing with the frozen pond? Are they just walking?
Yes, he's coming down the hill.
So Ben has just spotted, we think, the male
Yeah, I think
beaver.
it's the male. Yeah, it's just a little bit smaller, a bit darker. The female's a lighter brown, and she's a bit chunky. But yeah, he's just slowly come down the hill, and then back into the sort of back end of the lodge there. So if we move up a little bit more, I can't see a silhouette, but there's a bit of vegetation moving. So if we slowly creep up a little bit more. So we've just seen the male. The male's just come down the bank. he's just coming to the back side of the pond, and he's just hanging out where there's a little bit of unfrozen water. You can just hear it chewing. He's just feeding on a bit of bark at the moment.
They make a great sound when they're chewing.
So when you walk along here, just have a look down. But this is sort of where they've been using the toilet. So if you find like a little neat clump under the water, give me a shout. We'll go and have a look at it.
Beaver from a distance of probably 15 metres only. She loves to get extremely close to her, and we saw her fell a hazel tree. It was quite amazing, her just there up on her legs trying to get this tree down, and eventually it did come down. So yeah, no, it was amazing.
I didn't think we were actually going to how quickly we saw them as them coming in.
Yeah,
We've only really been here about half an hour, haven't we? So, to actually
one of the most amazing
yeah.
experiences.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It was up there. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
and just
definitely.
watching her just balance on the tail and push herself up
Yeah.
to get higher up into that hazel as well.
Yeah.
It was incredible. But yeah, just standing here gives you a good view of just what they have done in 4 months now they've been here, haven't they? So you know, they've almost just started penciling this here, so it won't be too long till that falls over.
Yeah.
They've
look
done
quite different when that one comes down, won't it?
Yeah, they've done the odd one or two here as well. But yeah, they're still fairly active now. No signs of slowing up.
And Ben, why are they out in the daytime now? Do you think?
I think it's just because we're getting, it was -7 this morning, so it's so cold for them. So I think they just want to come out, get a bit of sort of heat and a bit of sun on their backs before they go back in and go back to work. I'm still seeing them on the trail cameras at sort of midnight around that time as well, working and out in the water. So it's it gives them a bit of time to feed and can sort of conserve their energy a bit as well. So.
Yeah.
And why was she taking down that hazel? What do you think she was going to do with it?
I would have said they probably just would have been storing it for feed. So she'll probably come back tonight, and then she'll probably take off a couple more bits, and then she'll drag it back towards the lodge. And then what I have been seeing them doing is feeding just outside the lodge. Okay, so they'll sort of cut it into small little lengths, and then it is literally like a little process. So they're eating away, and then they'll just sort of twist it around and then go again. It's quite cool to watch. But yeah, that's what I've seen, and you can see it in the pond here. You can see all these white sticks where they've just stripped off all the bark and they've just left them. And you do find just piles of sticks as well where they've been feeding.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, I think they put on an extraordinary show.
Yeah, definitely.
And we should probably leave them be now.
I think so.
Yeah.
Mug of tea with beavers. Speaking of beavers.
Beavers are a part of the clue. In fact, beavers are the animal that has escaped from Mapperton. They are, of course, not at all dangerous or deadly or anything like that. But I'm afraid we have to break the news.
Yes.
That Twiggy and Woody, our 2 Eurasian beavers, managed to find their way out of the enclosure, and they are off on a holiday down the river.
And it was quite big news that the BBC picked up the story. So the next thing I know is the other day I was getting ping, 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 tons of pings, and I was like, what is going on? And it's because Woody and Twiggy made headlined BBC News. Very exciting.
Who would believe it? Certainly not Woody and
I
Twiggy.
don't think I've ever made BBC headline news.
So that is coming up, the story of Woody and Twiggy's escape and the story of us trying to go out and recapture them, and you will find out how we get on later.
I've come down to, what would you call this area?
So this is down the bottom of Mive. Valley. Mive, yeah.
So we've come down to the bottom of Mive because we are trying to locate beavers.
Yeah.
What happened with the beavers, Ben?
Unfortunately, the other day we sort of had a feeling that there was nothing going on much in the beaver enclosure, and then I went out that night and had a look, had a listen, and unfortunately I couldn't see anything. So sort of drove straight down to Devon and picked up a beaver trap from Derek Gow, and I've set it over the weekend. So I've walked up the whole stream, so it's covering a stretch of 2 kilometres. How active they've been outside the enclosure.
Yeah.
So yeah, this where we are now is sort of prime beaver habitat, whereas in Whole Lake where they are now, we're trying to get them to create that habitat. But here is basically already here for them, so they can just walk in and just is there for them. So you've got it all chewed up there and there, and then you got your little chips as well.
So that means that beavers have been down here.
Yeah, so they've been down here. So they've come all the way downstream. I think they're just sort of investigating what's going on, and then what they've done is they've dragged it through to here, and then you can see just down there where they've been feeding on it as well. Bit of hazel again, that's been chewed by the beavers. You can see both ends where it's been chewed off, and then stripped all the bark off as well. So they've been round here.
Ready? Nice.
Cool. Cheers, Chris. So I'm just going to freshen up all the bait that I've been putting in the trap. It's been set for two days now. It's still quite quiet in this area where they have been. So I'm just going to freshen it all up, and then I'll leave it set for another day. And then tomorrow when I come back, and then I'll change position of it, just try and keep it moving rather than keeping it stagnant. Just hopefully there might be a bit of luck just to bounce into something.
Ooh. Please don't fall in. I'm not a lifeguard.
I fell in yesterday, and then that's why I can't have my welly boots on, because they were just full of water. Oh, right. So I literally covered the whole thing in water. I pulled them off, just like poured them all out. Oh, look at that.
That was pretty good.
So what I'm doing now is, I've been walking the stretch for the last 2 days to see if there's anything new, anything different. I'm looking for either tracks in the silt or little runways where they're pushing themselves into the water, and it's being, it'll be quite worn down because their bellies are quite low to the water. So you'll be looking at anything like that, and then we'll be looking for any bits of hazel or trees that they've started chewing just so they can feed on.
Sure.
It's not a recent sign, but if you go and have a look underneath where the stream's going, you see that branch going across, and you just see like a little chunk in the middle that's been sort of nibbled.
Oh yeah.
So that's where they've been feeding on. So they'll be just in the water, just feeding on that for a bit, and then they'll disappear. So this is the only things that I'm really seeing at the moment, is just the really tiny places and spots where they've just been feeding, and then they just go again. So like that's an area where they could use to slide down. No signs of them using it, because it'll be quite smooth where their belly's so close to the ground. But it's mainly just been deer that have been using that. Right, so this is somewhere where I think they've started to add to. You see the odd little sticks here and there that they've chewed on as well. So I put some parsnips and some apples down here yesterday, and I've got the trail camera on the tree, so I'm just going to go and check that now. Could have been here last night because, to say, the apples are gone. Bit weird that the parsnips are still there, but I've got some more apples, so I'll just chuck a couple more apples out again and just see if I can See, they've been feeding on that as well. That log going across the pond, or the stream, sorry.
I'm here at the back of the house with Ben, and we've just been having a catch-up on the beaver situation. And the good news, Ben, is that they've been spotted.
They have been spotted, so we've managed to find them probably about 2 kilometres downstream, and yeah, we've found a bit of feeding signs, and also I've put a couple of trail cameras out there now, and we've caught them on the trail camera. So I'm going to head down now and have a look and see if they've been there last night as well. So looking quite positive.
So we've actually got footage now of one of them.
One of them, yeah.
And the plan is to slowly entice them into a trap by laying a trail of apples. It's a bit like Hansel and Gretel and a trail of bread. We want to entice them into our lair. With the help of the local community, we found a spot on the river with more signs of beaver activity. And then we confirmed their mischievous presence with our trail cameras. Ben and Chris moved the beaver traps around a mile downstream from Mapperton to this area and covered them in leaves as a cunning disguise.
The beavers have probably been out for about 13 days now, so we've tracked them to this little area here. So it's just roughly about 2.5 kilometres away from our enclosure, and we've got quite a lot of good signs that they've been around here. Sort of there you can see the tail just coming up off the bank, and then we're starting to see a few prints and trails going into the traps here. So this trap's been here for about a week now, and I've been slowly putting some apples and parsnips in there just to feed them into the trap. Trap number 2 set as well, ready to go. And so you can see the bait in the middle on the trigger plate. So hopefully we might catch one. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we might have a beaver or two. And then yesterday when I came down, I sort of a confirm of having both beavers in this site, in this area. So yeah, so hopefully we'll go and have a look, and then we'll see if they're ours or not. So we've got one of the traps just over there that's just been sprung. So we're going to have a look.
Oh my God. Go on. Yes.
Hi, Luke. Yeah, so we've caught one. I still need to microchip it, so I still need to confirm that it's definitely ours. But I have caught one, so now we've got one. We'll get the other one tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I'll call it tomorrow morning.
You're the man for the job.
I don't know about that. It's the weather though. The weather's has helped a lot. So now having this cold spell, it's made that they'll come in for the food. It's drawn them in quite a bit. So hopefully, yeah, fingers crossed, we'll just keep on getting a bit more cold weather.
All right, everybody.
Kate has gone. Did I set it after we picked up the other one? I reset it. Yeah, potentially. Yeah. 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 Oh, nice. Well, that's right. Yeah, happy now. Yeah, no, 2 beavers in 2 days. So, never thought it would be that quick, really.
That's amazing.
Go and have a look. There's literally just the far end, but no, happy days. That's good. No, just caught them up quickly, and we'll get them back together. And, yeah, Right, I'll just make a phone call now. I can't believe I've actually got one after the other. Morning, Luke. Some good news. No, honestly, yeah, I said to Chris, I was doing all the filming, and I was like, yeah, no, I don't think today. No, I don't think it's, a bit of disturbance and everything else. And literally just walked over, I saw the trap doors on the trap shut, and I thought, had a walk on round, and yeah, there it was.
When Ben called and told me that he had caught Woody, the second beaver, I nearly did a handstand with excitement. Well, not really, because I leave the acrobatics to Julie. Woody was transferred to the car and driven to a holding facility where Twiggy was eagerly waiting. And with the beavers safe and happily reunited, I'm hoping Ben is going to have a much more relaxing weekend. I know I will.
So today, and why I'm being very quiet, is adding suspense to the situation. But we have got both the beavers back in the back of the Discovery, and we're going to re-release them back into the enclosure for the second time we've released them now. So hopefully this is the last time.
Twiggy and Woody may have made national headlines, but today our celebrity beavers are returning home after their extended holiday, and we really hope they don't try to escape again.
So when was the last time you came down here?
I don't think I've been down here since I had to do the sort of checks.
Okay.
So what is that, like 2-3 months?
Yeah, it's sort
maybe?
of Christmas time, wasn't it? So,
Yeah. So I haven't been back since the beavers have returned.
So a lot's changed. Where you can see all the debris that's sort of been blocking the grills in the winter.
Yeah. Oh wow, already I can sort of tell that, yeah, it's like 2 or 3 more trees that have come down.
So today we're back at the beaver enclosure. I'm lucky enough to have Nesta here with me. So we're going to be having a bit of a work around and sort of seeing if we can try and prevent some of the flood damage that we had this winter by adding and building some more dams for the beavers. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do today.
Yeah, so we're building a dam for the beavers that build dams.
Yes. Basically, that's what we're doing. We're a dam for the beavers that build dams. Yeah. But if we go and get some of this wood over here, and then we'll make a start. So this was one of their dams that they started building back in December, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah.
And then it's slowly been added, and each storm that we've had has added more to it for us.
Right.
So they spent a little bit of time here recently, but not. They're more concentrated around at the pond at the moment.
Yeah.
Now, since I was last here, this mysterious cube has arrived, and I've no idea what it is. It's some piece of construction that only Ben and Nesta have the answer to revealing. So Ben, what's going on?
So we're building with all recycled old pallets a hide that's going to go down into the beaver enclosure, so we can sit down and watch them and not disturb them, and they're not going to see us walking around. Yeah, that's the plan.
So this is essentially a house for humans on stilts that's going in the beaver enclosure.
That's it. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, but putting it that way. Yeah. It is. Yeah.
Is it not? It's not going to have any central heating, or
We could put some insulation.
Yeah. Insulation.
We could put some board insulation in the middle, couldn't we?
Or we just bring our own insulation.
You just put another coat on. Yeah.
So absolutely amazing. And what this will mean, of course, is that Nesta in particular can spend long, cold nights with his camera and a long lens getting amazing beaver footage.
Yes.
Nesta, this puts a bit of pressure on you and your photography.
It does a bit, doesn't it? Yeah.
Right, what are we going to do?
So we're just almost because this is the first one, so this is sort
hang
of
on a
Mark,
second.
this is Mark
This
1.
isn't even like connected.
Yeah.
This is Mark 1.
This is Mark 1.
This
Yeah,
hasn't even got off the ground.
No, exactly. So we're literally just trying to figure out all the kinks first, and then once we've done that, so we're going to screw them all together so it's all fixed. We're probably going to, like Nesta said, we're going to raise it off the ground just so the water doesn't get into the wood.
Yeah.
And rot it. And then we're going to cut a door on this pallet where you are.
Yeah.
And then we're going to clad it with all of this.
Right. And when's it going on Airbnb? I don't think it's going on Airbnb.
No.
Before anybody asks.
No.
Right, I'm going to leave you to get on with this. And good luck. And looking forward to spending my first night in the cube. Not.
So you think probably around this area, sort of area, where's the best place to put the hide?
I think so. I mean, I think it would be cool if we could get it down there, but it's probably not the best idea if it floods and then it breaks, and you probably don't want wet feet when you're
or the whole hide just to go down to the grill. And it's something that we've got to clear out when it's blocking the grill.
And also they might even use the hide as beaver material.
Well, they haven't used the lodge though.
Material. Oh, have they not? Okay.
Well, they haven't. Well, the lodge that we built for them.
Yeah,
they haven't used that, so hopefully they shouldn't be too worried about it.
Yeah. But I guess here you've got us a decent view.
Yeah.
Although maybe when that tree comes down.
If it comes down.
If it comes down. But yeah, I guess here we could sort of make a platform.
Yeah. Raise it offset to all level. So basically where Chris is standing, you're saying.
Pretty much
where Chris is standing.
Yeah.
So if you can stand there, Chris, and then we know where our marker is.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, I think that's sort of decided as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we better get on and actually make it now.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of important pieces of equipment with me. One is this camera with a very long lens. and the other is a human being, and it's Nestor. And Nestor is going to help. In fact, he's going to be in charge of some really important filming that we've got to do down at the Beaver enclosure. We've heard that they are coming out in the evenings, and we want to see if we can find them. Nestor, you've built something important to help.
Yes, that's right. Ben and I built a sort of lodge for us to sit in while we film the beavers. And so yeah, I'm excited to show you it, and hopefully, you know, it's up to standard.
I think it will be up to standard. That means we've got a lodge for the beavers themselves, and we've got a lodge for humans too. So maybe we'll all just sit in our lodge and kind of wave at each other. Anyway, we're going to head on down to the beaver enclosure now. Nestor, what do you think are our chances of seeing a beaver?
Well, obviously I'm very hopeful, but I think it might still be too early, so we might have a bit of a wait before they come out.
Because we're still quite early, I think that gives us a chance to go and inspect some of their latest handiwork and look at the dam and look at any of the trees that are currently being munched. But of course, we've got this extraordinary new structure.
And it is rather extraordinary at the moment.
This is the beaver hide. And one of the things that we want to do here at Mapperton is provide opportunities for other photographers to come here and to take photos of the beavers.
It sort of currently looks like a West Side Rapper with its cap on backwards. But in due course, we'll cut it off.
But there is the swampy pond beneath. What we'll do is we'll just deposit the camera inside, and then let's go and have a look at what's been going on. This is where the beavers were what's called ring barking, taking the bark off the bottom here. And you can see they've stopped doing that here, but it may be too late for this tree. That is new. We think we've spotted a tree that has been recently felled by Woody and Twiggy. Nestor,
yes.
We clearly cannot blame Woody and Twiggy for every tree that has fallen here, because I see absolutely no evidence of a beaver being involved. You can see that actually the centre here is very rotten. It's just coming apart.
Yeah.
Rather like balsa wood. This poor tree has really been attacked. But again, not that recently. Here's all the evidence of the chippings at the bottom. But that looks somewhat fresher. There's a lot of work to be done. But yeah, we'll keep going. Here is Woody and Twiggy's lodge, lovingly built by me and Ben, of course, mostly Ben. No evidence that they've ever used it for anything at all. And this is also on the way down.
Well, I think it's being held up by another one that they've taken down. So it wasn't very smart of them. I want to see some frogs, I know they're here.
What's that over there? Is that a potato?
The frogs are here, I've seen like the spawn. Is that a potato?
On the left over there.
Yeah, it's a rock.
Oh, it's a rock.
I don't know how big your potatoes are, but
that would make a fine baked potato. We're going to head back to the lodge and be patient. Nestor, how good are you at patience?
Excellent.
Nestor's not very good at sitting still for 3 hours, but we have brought some gear to make it a bit more pleasant. So I think this is it. and we're just going to wait and see what happens. Seen any beavers?
No.
No. We waited a couple of hours and were finally rewarded with an appearance by Woody, who was clearly very hungry. But I'm not sure I share his enthusiasm for munching nettles. We're here at Holeacre in the middle of the beaver enclosure. It's the last animal on our tour today because unless some deer come out, we probably won't see them.
No.
But this is where the beavers, Woody and Twiggy, world famous they are, live and reside, and they have this wetland behind them, which they have helped to create with their damming, with their creation of canals, with all of the stripping of the trees. They've brought down numerous trees. It's quite an extraordinary piece of engineering. Ben, that is what beavers are here to do. They're called ecosystem engineers. Why is that?
They've got a method in their head that they know exactly what they're doing. They've got a purpose for everything. The amount of material and everything that they shift is unbelievable. So it's one of those nice things when you do see them moving and doing all this work. It's quite incredible to see just that animal is doing it and creating it for benefiting everything. It's not just one thing. They benefit everything.
Because they're creating a pond, they're creating a wetland. That's providing habitat for invertebrates, that's providing habitat for fish, and then of course you've got the birds that come and feast on all of those. So here we have a fenced perimeter that runs the whole way round. At each end we've got grills on the stream, so in theory the beavers can't escape, but they do, don't they, Ben?
They do if they really want to. Yeah, especially coming into winter now, we've got all this leaf litter, all this vegetation that's on the ground. When we have a lot of rain, it always tends to follow the stream down and then goes, and then it just blocks up the grill. So it's a forever task of unblocking the grills.
I'm afraid it's a day's work, isn't it? Clearing out that grill,
just clearing out the grill,
repairing, and
also trees as well falling on the fencing. So they're very clever, quick learners.
There's a lot to do. Look at this tree here. I mean, it's an astonishingly tall poplar, is it?
Yeah.
And it's probably 30 metres high, something like that.
I'd say so, yeah, just on the look, yeah.
And look what they've done. I mean, this hasn't got long to go, has it? It's not going to live. I mean, the tree is dead.
Oh, it's surprising how long they'll last. It's like with the one that was across the pond. I mean, that's been hanging on for the last half a year. Yeah. So I think this one will take a very long time till it actually comes down. But when it does,
they'll have to get round. But
when it does, it's going to make a big crash.
It sure is. It's going to bring some other trees with it.
Yeah.
I notice we've got some apples here.
Yes.
These are beaver treats, aren't they?
Yeah, it's just nice that you can chuck them around, and it's just a little bit reassuring that you know that they're out and about, and you're still seeing them on the camera, which is another way that we have to check them as well. So we can't visually check them like we can with all the other animals, and we have to do all the checking with sort of by night and with the trail cameras as well, just to see what.
And you've now got a new thermal imaging camera.
Yes. Yeah.
How's that going?
It's very handy. It's very detailed. You can see a lot of their activities. We've got some good videos of close-ups. Also one trying to scale the gate, which
that's impressive, isn't it?
Very impressive.
He clearly, I think it's Woody, we'll have to assume,
yeah.
Wanting to scale the gate and make his way out. But in the meantime, as long as we give them enough apples, we think they'll probably stay here. Mapperton has been hit by a mega storm. There is more rain than I can ever remember here. And of course, storms means floods, it means leaks. We've already found our first leak in the main house, but just as important is to go out and see what's happening to all of the watercourses, all the rivers and the streams here, and in particular to go and check on the beaver enclosure to see what damage has been done. But it's absolutely pouring down. I'm getting soaked already. Ben has kindly offered to take me in the mule. We're going to go out, we're going to see what's been happening with the storm walloping this country estate. If you haven't liked and subscribed to our channel, now is the moment to do that. We really look forward to bringing you along on this journey with us. Right, off to go see Ben. Ben, you got your waterproofs on?
Waterproofs on, yeah.
Today, huge storm hitting Mapperton. I mean, literally more water than I've seen here, I think, ever before. I can see it flooding across the roads, down across the fields. What's been the impact in your neck of the woods?
A lot, really.
A lot.
Yeah, it's like you say, I've never seen rain here like it. Experiencing a lot of flooding down the beaver enclosure, which is always fun when you got to.
Well, the beaver enclosure, of course, when we have flooding, it brings things down the stream, which bashes into all of the grills and the fencing.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting that we're going to have to go and clear out some stuff, aren't we? We've got a bit of manual labour coming. Yeah, this is it's biblical, isn't it? Really, that's the only word. Let's get in the mule and head off. I can already tell that this is not a happy man, because as soon as we get out of the car or the mule, we can hear the change in the noise of the water, which means only one thing. Ben, what does it mean?
Grill's blocked.
It means it's blocked. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because the yeah.
That's quite serious. What's happened there, isn't it? It's broken it. That is quite serious. Okay, so it looks as though the force of the water has actually broken the grill, which for us is quite serious because obviously the grill is there to keep the beavers in. And if we don't have a grill, there's a chance that the beavers are not in. Right, this is where we've been having problems with the enclosure, because when we get a lot of rain like this, it brings down rocks, branches, logs, and it smashes into the grill and the fencing. And Ben, what I can see is that there's a bit of the fencing there that has kind of come up. What's happening here?
Yeah, so that just due to the amount of pressure and the force of the water and all the debris that's built up, it builds up, it piles up, and then it creates too much force on the grill, and then the grill and the skirt is just separated, and it's just the wires just pinged off away from it.
So that has created a hole big enough for a beaver to escape. So I think we're going to have to do some really careful monitoring of our cameras to see whether any of them have got out. That is a hole.
Yeah.
If you're a beaver, you can definitely get out through there.
Yeah, easily. But you can see where the force has been. So it's obviously come away as well, and that's
there's a hole here as well.
So
if they climb up,
and then you can also see where the bank is sort of eroded. You can see the mesh and everything that we actually dug a metre deep in the ground when we built the enclosure. You see that as well.
So this is all the bank has just come out.
Come out as well.
Right, what have we got to clear?
So literally just I'd roll your sleeves up and just we'll start clearing out some debris.
What we're really trying to do is take the pressure off the grill here. Yeah, that water is flowing much better now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So these just get stuck.
So you can hear the rocks just bashing into it while we're clearing it out.
Yeah. So as you clear them, other ones
just keep on piling up against it.
The water's not too cold, is it? That's a good one.
I think it's
Is
very cold.
Maybe my hand's already numb. Look at that.
It's one of those things when it's weather like this. There's not a huge amount you can do really. You have to just keep on doing this, but unless you spend all day down here.
Sounds like we'll be back in the morning.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Look at this tree. This is an enormous poplar. I can't get my arms around it, and the beavers have really been going for it. Look at all this chip over here.
Yeah.
It's not going to live, this tree, is it?
No, not now, unfortunately. But yeah, they've been doing this ever since they've started this ever since they came, and then they're slowly progressing, getting more into it now. So
going round and
going
round.
round and round. So hopefully, it'll be another year and it'll be down. Hopefully.
What's interesting about this tree is the angle of it, because when it comes, it'll almost certainly go that way.
Oh yeah.
And you have to wonder what's going on in the mind of the beaver. Are they thinking, I really want to build a dam over there, let's get the tree to fall that direction and then we can build up around it. This pond is not really a pond anymore.
No.
Because the weight of all the water today has brought down the beaver dam on the far side.
Yeah.
So the whole pond has drained away, and all you're left with are the kind of canals that go round in the middle. I mean, this used to be completely covered in water.
It's just very frustrating. It's just, no other word really.
Well, there is no other word, is it?
But that's nature, though, isn't it? That's It's sort of.
They build it.
They build it, and they have to come back and rebuild, won't they?
And then they have to come back and rebuild. Oh well, I'm happy it's them, not me. Yeah. Ben, am I right? There's another bit of damage further down. Further up, rather.
It's I've been very unlucky this year with beavers and weather, but the ash tree that's fallen, slapped in the middle of one of the gates, and it sort of crushed it.
What, the gate on which side?
Yeah, the gate, the far left-hand side, all the way at the top, the big 10-foot gate.
And destroyed, or
just completely crumpled.
Right. So we've got the potential for beavers to be escaping out the gate that way.
Yeah.
Beavers to be escaping out the bottom.
Yeah.
Clearly, there's a significant risk that our beavers have got out. Of course, if they do get out, then there's every chance they'll become stars of the national news, as they were this time last year. Do you remember?
I do. Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't forget.
I think they were starstruck and missing the publicity.
Yeah,
that's why they've gone off. Right, Woody, Twiggy, we're coming for you.